Fox 5 News at 4 starts right now.
Just 4 days after the announcement of charges against former President Donald Trump and some of his allies in Fulton County, Fox 5 has learned about threats made against the Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis and the Fulton County Sheriff. That is the breaking news we have right now out of Fulton County, where Fox 5 has learned about threats made, and the FBI is now investigating the latest threat and released a statement just minutes ago. Fox 5's Angelique Proctor joins us live from the Fulton County Jail with more on this breaking development. Angelique.
Good afternoon, Christine. This is troubling indeed. Now, Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis says that she and her staff have received threats for months, both racial threats and violent threats. But obviously, those threats are being taken more seriously since the FBI is now involved. Let's take a look now at the statement that the FBI released just minutes ago. It reads, FBI Atlanta is aware of threats of violence against Fulton County officials and is working with the Fulton County Sheriff's Office. It is our policy not to discuss details of ongoing investigations. However, each and every potential threat brought to our attention is taken seriously. Individuals found responsible for making threats in violation of state and or federal laws will be prosecuted. And several of my sources have told me that these threats are targeted at DA Willis, as well as Fulton County Sheriff Patrick Labatt and their families. Now, I've talked to several people today who are aware of these threats and are taking appropriate precautions. Both Willis and Labatt and their families do have security detail. They are monitoring these developments and doing everything they can to keep these officials and their families safe. That is the very latest here in Northwest Atlanta. Angelique Proctor, Fox 5 News.
Yeah, and each of these should be taken seriously. Angelique, thank you so much. The first of what's expected to be multiple defendants has asked for his case to be moved to federal court. Trump's former chief of staff, Mark Meadows, argues any actions he took happened while he was a federal employee. And Fox 5 IT reporter Randy Travis says that actually opens a path to move his case to the federal system. Randy.
That's right, Christine. Yeah, there is a path. It's called 28 U.S. Code 1442. That allows any federal officer to have their case prosecuted in federal court for, quote, any act under color of such office, even if it's a state criminal case. Mark Meadows was a federal employee, then President Donald Trump's chief of staff, when he took at least 2 actions that prompted a Fulton County grand jury to indict him. The charges are racketeering and trying to get a public officer to violate their oath. According to the indictment, the first action was traveling to Georgia and attempting to get into the Cobb County Civic Center to witness a signature verification audit, even though the public was not allowed inside. The other, according to the indictment, was taking part in that now well-known phone call to Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, where he and President Trump urged him to find evidence of fraud when none existed. Now, U.S. District Judge Steve Jones said in August 28th hearing to listen to arguments from both sides. We expect some of the other 19 defendants to file the same motions. Jeffrey Clark was working in the Attorney General's office. Rudy Giuliani is already saying he should be considered a federal officer. And, of course, former President Donald Trump. But so far, Meadows is the only one. And just like all the others, he must still surrender at the Fulton County Jail by August 25th. Which is a week from tomorrow.
Now, how does this work when it comes to pardons if this is moved to the federal system for Mark Meadows? Yeah,
there's been some confusion there, but legal analysts I've talked to say it would make no difference. I mean, it's still a state case. It would just be tried in a federal courtroom. Fani Willis would still prosecute it. There'd be a federal judge and a federal jury, but that would be the only difference, and any conviction would not be subject to a presidential pardon. You can see why they'd want this, though, because a jury pool in Fulton County, where Joe Biden won 72% of the vote in 2020, would be less preferable than a federal jury pool of all of North Georgia.
Right. Oh, all right. Randy, thanks so much.
Okay.
Now, a state senator from Northwest Georgia has called for an emergency session in light of the grand jury indictment to investigate Fulton County DA Fani Willis. Senator Colton Moore, who is a Republican from Trenton, sent a tweet saying, quote, as a Georgia state senator, I'm officially calling for an emergency session to review the actions of Fani Willis. America is under attack, he writes. I'm not going to sit back and watch as radical left prosecutors politically target political opponents, end quote. Now, the president of the Georgia NAACP quickly responded to this call in a tweet. Attorney Gerald Griggs says, quote, "We call on the governor to reject the request to call an emergency session." All right, this is a developing story, so stay with Fox 5 on air and online as we continue to learn more. Be sure to download the Fox 5 Atlanta app for all the latest breaking news alerts and updates right to your phone. It is free to download in your app store.